Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
county.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, now that I think and so when I was trying to find out.
They just because it was your house, and then okay, and you helped it. It's now.
So funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
And standard hours 8 to 3, but she also has like till 5.
So there's.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now they're really. Oh, yeah. And then they close it down. It sounds like you. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Or like I'll say something like it's happening, Marcus. Fuck yourself. Like, everybody has to say, hey, how are you? Good, thank you. I believe there's no last year. Yeah, so like, well, like she's like, don't bring remember. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You guys, it's and man, no, literally, and like, got him. Yeah, probably. Yeah,
Not much.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. They're not stressed. Yeah, yeah. You can really come through. In the youth. Good. Please do. Definitely. It's okay.
Yeah.
Excited. Might be like so. Made me laugh because he said that was such an confident now we're at yeah. And question about roundabout, which like that's what I used to do. And it was like roundabout reduce severity by this much that like very and I was like, wait, and it came like myself presented, and I was like,
Yeah.
so I was like, yeah, it's like, all right. So it came in, it's wrong. And if I watched that, and I was like,
Very into it.
then I was like,
Good morning.
good morning, how are you? Good.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just bad last night.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
So
It's geography, live.
yeah.
And then try to put the
Yeah. Tell you what it
Let's do this.
Get it done. I don't know.
Good morning. Welcome to the Boise Airport Commission meeting, April 1st, 2026. Could we start with roll call, please?
Commissioner Carlson,
Yes, here.
Commissioner Cunningham,
Here.
Commissioner Custer Radloff. Commissioner Vasconcelos,
Here.
Commissioner Westerberg,
Here.
Councilman Morales. And then I believe we may have some online. So Commissioner Bosiger,
I'm here online.
Commissioner Hughes,
Here online.
Commissioner General Smith.
Here online. Good morning.
Thank you. The minutes were disseminated prior to the meeting today. Are there any comments or suggested changes for the minutes?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I've read the minutes, as scant as they are an accurate reflection of what went on, so I moved there for.
It's been moved. Is there a second for approval?
A second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Any opposed? Okay, the minutes have been approved. Next item on the agenda, we'll shift right to Director Hub.
Well, good morning. And I do not have any April Fool's Day jokes planned for you this morning, sadly. But I do want to start off by thanking everyone for being here this morning. And before I jump into my presentation with the concurrence of the commission chair, I want to recognize Amy Snyder. Amy, she's just stand up. Everybody knows who Amy is. But I want to recognize Amy. Amy has been with the airport for, and I won't even embarrass her by saying how long, but let's just say decades. And she's done such a phenomenal job for us, for the entire community in the region. She's getting ready to retire. I know she looks far too young to retire, but good for you, Amy. And thank you for everything that you've done. You've really seen this airport evolve and change, and you've been a big part of that, including the concessions, which everybody loves to talk about. So thank you, Amy, for being here, and thank you for your decades of service. And I just wanted to recognize you publicly in this forum before we kick it off and take this opportunity to embarrass you one last time.
Well, thank you very much.
Or the next to last time. This
This is the last commission meeting.
the last commission meeting.
I just have appreciated working with everybody. It's been wonderful, even though Commissioner Cunningham was newer on the committee. It was a pleasure working with you on the concessions. And then Meg, of course, you've done so many different things: economic development, master plans, art program. And then Bill was fortunate enough to work with us on the food and beverage RFP. And then Russ, who is no longer a tenant, but was forever a tenant, and very great help with the tea hangers. I just have had such a wonderful career here, and thanks to everyone.
All right, with that, I will jump into the airport director's report. The first couple of slides that I have are about airport construction, and you're going to get a full briefing on airport construction from our airfield expert. Mark is here at the end of my comments, so I won't belabor them, but we did have the runway closed a couple times for construction. And it is now closed for maintenance, and now it's closed for construction. Marcus is going to go into some of those details. We also, oh, here's another slide of that. And then we have a Concourse A apron that is starting. This is a multi-phase project. This is to set the airport up for future success. When we build out Concourse A, it'll give us some overnight parking in the interim, and that project will be starting in May. And the rental car center, that is getting really close. The walkway will be done in early April, so that means any day now. And the tenants have started their improvements on their tenant lease spaces. Again, we're anticipating an opening of this facility this coming fall. And then the Airline Consortium Fuel Farm, we've talked about this before, but just wanted to show some of the progress that's been made to date. Again, this is not a project that we're doing, but it is a project that we're collaborating with the airlines to do. It's on airport property, and it will help ensure a strong fuel supply at the Boise airport today and well into the future. And then the airport master plan, as you recall, this is our 20-year plan, or 20-plus-year plan for facilities and development at the airport. Many of the things that are on here are things that you've seen before because they're in process. The big thing that's up there that I wanted to mention and explain is the CRDC. That's a central receiving and distribution center. Probably not something that you might think about if you just travel through the airport, but everything that comes to the airport has to be screened and stored before it can go out into the terminal. And so this is going to address, where do we bring things in? Where's the loading dock going to be? How do we get things out of the airport and look at it through a security and logistical lens? So that is coming. And then of course, planning and some environmental that we're working on as well, in addition to the things that we have been working on previously. We'll be resuming the technical advisory committee, and the consultant has been meeting with the various stakeholder groups. And then the environmental assessment for what we call RIM, the Runway Incursion Mitigation Strategy. FAA has proposed some changes to the airfield design that they think will make it safer. It involves realigning the runways, and so there's an opportunity to comment on that. We will be hosting a public hearing at the airport on April 28th in this meeting room. So if people are interested and attended, we'll be posting that on our social media. It will also be posted in some other locations online. But that, more to come on that. And then we had an alignment of spring breaks. It's been a couple years since all of the school districts aligned their spring breaks, but both Ada County and Boise and BSU, their spring breaks all occurred at the same time. So it was quite busy here. I think the key is we did have sufficient parking close in. We had adequate parking in the lot. We had some long lines, in part because of spring break, in part because TSA agents probably were not being paid. So there were some challenges, but I think overall mostly due to the large peak of passengers that were traveling at that time. But overall things went well and as smoothly as we could have hoped. Speaking of TSA, some of you who are following it, maybe if you haven't been following it that closely, I'll just kind of recap where we are. So the federal government passed the budget for every agency except for Department of Homeland Security, which includes TSA, ICE, CBP, Coast Guard. And so there was an impasse for several weeks. We're going on over 40 days. Our TSA employees have missed several paychecks, and where it was last left, the Senate passed a bill and the House passed a bill, but they weren't the same bill. So we are still at a stalemate in terms of passing a budget for the Department of Homeland Security. The president has issued an executive order to pay TSA out of other funds, and so they have received a couple of back pay checks. There's still questions about how much they're going to be paid, how much back pay, and whether or not they'll be paid going forward. But it has helped to avoid a crisis because, again, over 40 days without a check, most of these employees who are working in what would be considered entry-level jobs probably do not have thousands of dollars to fall back on. So I do want to give a shout out to our team, Jennifer and Shauna, and then the entire ops team that have been instrumental in organizing a food drive, food deliveries, lunch. We have partnered with the chamber and other area businesses to, including Block 2. Thank you for supporting a lunch for our TSA screeners here. We really appreciate that. I know that they have been incredibly grateful for the outpouring of support from our community. It's wonderful that our community is so supportive. It's terrible that we need to step in and do this. So I won't belabor that, but that's where we're at with TSA. And then today and next week and over the next year, we will be celebrating our BOI 100th anniversary. The official date is April 6th. So next Monday, we will be hosting a ribbon cutting for the public. It'll be post security, but anyone who is flying will be able to attend, and we will have news media there. But we'll be doing a ribbon cutting of a display, a historic display that kind of outlines the last 100 years in key events. There'll be a celebration. Later on this year, we'll be doing a family day celebration. Today, we're doing a celebration with our employees to kick off the event. So it's an exciting time. We have many sponsors for many of our events and partners, and the whole community again coming together to make this a really wonderful celebration. So thank you again to Shauna and Jennifer from our team who put in a tremendous amount of work into planning these events. And I won't try to name all of the sponsors because I'll probably miss someone. And that would not be a good move on my part. So I'll recognize them each at the events that they sponsor. I want to congratulate Brian Hill. Many of you know Brian Hill. Maybe you don't know Brian Hill. He is behind the scenes, but he is our expert on things like baggage handling, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, cooling. Brian manages all of the systems that we really need to make our airport go. He has been selected for promotion, so I'm really excited for him that he'll be joining the project management team and managing and overseeing construction basically of the new facilities that we're putting in. And I know that Beth, our Deputy Director of Engineering and Planning, is excited to have him take the lead on some of these major mechanical systems that it takes to run the airport that truly are the backbone of delivering service every day. So congratulations to Brian. Brian is here in the back of the room trying to hide. It's like, move on, Rebecca. You would never say that though. And then we've talked about how Boise has experienced just explosive growth over the last decade. I think it's like 82% in the last decade. The trend continues. I think many of our airports are starting to see a decrease in enplanements or flat enplanements. We were relatively flat in January, but February is up another 6%. So the trend is continuing. We expect to see similar trends in March. We'll see if the economy, if there are any other changes that will dampen demand moving forward. But at this point, we're anticipating that we're going to continue to grow. And for 2026, we're up about 3% year to date, which is, again, ahead of where I'm seeing our peers for the most part. Do you want to touch on the financials? And the first slide is revenue. As you can imagine, our concessions, both food and beverage and retail and gift, are up substantially because of the new locations and every place being open. TNC revenue is up because of timing in the payments. And then the landing and freight are down just because of a decreased number of landings by our carriers, and mostly freight carriers. On the expense side, I just wanted to touch on a couple of things. The parking management fee is due to a timing issue. The increase that you see in professional services is just due to the magnitude and volume of the work and the projects that we're doing. The increase in power is due to timing of depositing some energy efficiency refunds and grants. And then software is up due to a timing in payments, but also because we've added some new software called Aero Simple. So we'll continue to see that carry forward. And Mr. Chair, that concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Director Hum. Any questions or comments for Rebecca? Anyone online? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to commissioners' comments. If I could start with Commissioner Carlson, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Happy to be here. I wanted to recognize Brian as well. I love it when we internally promote, and as a frequent traveler, I greatly appreciate smooth baggage handling, and especially with my overseas flights when I'm coming home very exhausted. So I'm glad that we will be in good hands in you designing and implementing the improved system. Last month I was in, I missed the meeting, I was in Switzerland. I was in a small town called Montreux. It's on Lake Geneva, 30,000 people. It has two things that make it most famous. One is it has the largest jazz festival in all of Europe every summer, and 200,000 people invade this small community. But two, little known unless you're a big Queen fan, is that Freddie Mercury lived there. It was his second home from 1978 till 1995 when he died. And there's a giant bronze statue of him in his famous fist up pose on the promenade overlooking the lake. He had a studio there. He wrote and recorded most of the final songs, including A Winter's Tale, which was written about the view of the lakes. So it was quite fascinating, something I didn't know. It's a beautiful place. I am in another phase of serving on the Art Review Committee. The committee is focused on a wall installation on Concourse B. And the design directive is to have a combination of nostalgia for the past, but also looking forward to the future. We received 188 submissions for consideration in the first round, and narrowed those down to the top 5. And so the next phase, as is typical, is to contact those artists and ask them to provide further direction around what their art might look like. Very large range of materials, but as you might imagine, since this is an installation in a public place on the wall, you have to think about things like tactile, children running into it, things like that, that wouldn't normally be considered in something that's installed higher up. So it's very fascinating how artists interpret direction and all the different kinds of materials that are involved. So I'm sure we'll hear more about that once we get through the final phase. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Vasconcelos.
I'd like to echo Commissioner Carlson's congratulations to Brian. Thanks for taking care of those things. Congrats on your promotion. And I don't really have any other comments.
Thank you. Commissioner Westerberg.
Thank you. For the past, I'm going to say 33 or 34 years, the Boise Airport has been an avocational part of my pursuits. Learned to fly here. Started keeping my airplanes with, I guess it was MK. But what I'm getting to is during that time, I encountered on many occasions Amy Snyder. And she's always been a treat for me to know and deal with, and I really appreciated her. I want to wish her the best she could have as she enters a very deserved retirement. But it's been a pleasure. Amy's really been a special person for me out here. And again, this place has been a part of my life for a lot of years. Good luck, Amy. Don't hesitate to be a stranger.
Thank you. Commissioner Bosinger, any comments online?
Good morning, everybody. I wish I could say I was dialing in from Switzerland, but alas, I'm in Rock Springs, Wyoming this morning. Uh, so I have a view of nothing. It's foggy here. I want to echo my sentiments just with what Russ said as well, and my wishes to wish Amy a happy retirement. And that's all the comments I have. Thank you.
Commissioner Hughes?
Yes, good morning, everyone. Sorry I couldn't be there in person. I promise I'll be there next month. I'm over in California at an industry conference of 300 other destinations across the country. So all my peers, it's really energizing. I've heard a lot about Boise. People are hearing about Boise. They're like, what's going on over there? We keep hearing about Boise. And so I know a lot of that also has to do with the airport and all the good work everyone's doing there. So appreciate that. I wanted to pass that along. Also wanted to thank and congratulate Amy. Happy retirement. And I neglected to mention last month that Beth Sumner gave a great presentation to our tourism group called Skull last month, and really appreciated hearing all the good things going on at the airport and keeping everyone informed. And that's all I have. I'll see you next month.
Thank you. Brigadier General Smith.
Good morning. I have no comments other than to congratulate Amy. Amy, you've been a great partner with the National Guard and real property management. So excited for you for the next phase in your life. So congratulations. I have no other remarks. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll close, again, congratulations to Brian, it's been said, and then I have to comment, Amy, I was fortunate to work with you on the concession project and really gain an appreciation for your knowledge and experience here at the airport. And, from my seat, you'll be missed. I'll miss your smile at these meetings and wish you the best in retirement. So with that said, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
Mr. Chair, this is Jordan Morales. I'm sorry I
Oh.
joined late.
Oh, welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Just a couple comments if I can.
Please.
Great. Just want to echo the comments for Amy. It's been a pleasure the past couple years. I regret I didn't get to work with you longer, but everything that I've witnessed, you're an incredible asset to this team, and legacy will last long after your departure. But super excited for your next journey, and thank you for all that you've done for the team here. And then I just wanted to briefly note, last month, our city council decided on a conditional use application for housing within the B1 area north of the airport. It was an application for a couple units over the 5 units per acre allowed within that area. I want to thank Director Hupp and Kelly Burrows for being there. It's not lost on me how important their jobs are and then have to hang out with us late at night, but providing a lot of context information. Like all council decisions have to take into account a lot of things. We did not approve that CUP that night. But I regretted digging into the 65 DLN line that kind of went through this property, and just wanted to make a quick comment here. Looking over noise exposure maps, historically, we kind of see this nub growing out of the north and with the tip kind of going up Orchard. And obviously these are based off of flight data of actual flights. And I think it just kind of reflected, the recent frustration that we're hearing from the bench neighborhoods about air traffic control allowing departing flights to bank early north over that neighborhood. And with the RIM noted earlier in this meeting, shifting that may, that nub may shift a little bit further to the east as well. And so I think it's just really important that we try to do what we can to build a partnership with air traffic control to try not to at least limit or prevent those kind of early banking over our bench neighborhoods. And so hope that we'll be able to have kind of continued conversations with airport leadership to see what we can do to kind of build that partnership. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilman Morales, and my apologies for not recognizing that you joined us online. So
You're okay, and my apologies for not being there. I was at the Main Street Station bus electrification ribbon cutting this morning, so double duty.
thank you. Any additional comments? Gomez? Councilman or Commissioner Vasconcelos?
Thank you. I just wanted to reiterate what a great job you did, Amy, on the food and beverage concession search. And
Commissioner, could you please use your microphone? Irritating Commissioner Westerberg.
you kept everything moving. Your experience was great, and it was a very smooth operation that I've thought back on with good feelings. So it was good to be a part of that. Thank you, and good luck in retirement.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move next to, we've got a staff report. Marcus Green here. Marcus, please step forward and give us an update on summer construction, please.
I'm not sure if I really need this. I don't really have an inside voice, so. We're going to discuss all the airfield construction projects, just kind of go over the phasing and everything that's involved going on this year with all of the growth and everything with the airport. It's been kind of a whirlwind for the past couple years, especially since taking this position, and everything that we've been dealing with out here on the airfield. So we have 3 major construction projects that's completely separate from any of our maintenance projects or anything like that going on. If we included the maintenance projects, you guys would probably wonder, how do we stay open? So don't want to scare anybody, but yeah. So this is just kind of an overview of the whole airfield and everything, and also all the impacts that's being done with the construction. So starting on the north there is a Concourse A apron. That's essentially 3 phases. And then the big project that we got going on right now is the runway 10 left, 2A right reconstruction. That's actually a 2-year project. So I included all the phasing just so it kind of gives you a visual of all the phasing and everything that goes on. And then also on the far lower right is the taxi lane S extension widening. And this is to access the new hangar sites on the far east end of Sierra. So we have a couple corporate hangars and stuff that's going to be going on in there. So with that being said, just kind of a little bit of a rundown. I won't go over all the dates or anything, but you can look at them. Essentially, this construction year, to get us halfway through the reconstruction of the runway project, it's going to take us approximately 232 days. So essentially, we're going from the 1st of March 9th was the actual kickoff, and we'll go right up to the first part of November with that. With that being said, we'll have an operational shutdown for construction, where we will reopen the runway for winter use and everything. And also with that, during that winter construction shutdown, we'll start reconstructing a water line that's actually running. There's 2 existing water lines that run underneath the runways that we're trying to get removed just for risk management, correct? So, and then I just gave a short little look there, we're cutting a whopping 10 days off next year. So we're only going to be approximately 222 days of construction for this project. So just a little bit into this. This is just kind of a bar graph and everything, showing you all the timelines and everything associated with each phase. But going into that, the last time the runway was actually rehabbed was in years 2007 and 2008. So it's 18 to 19 years. So it's served us well, but it's at its useful life. This is not a rehab. This is a full reconstruction where we're removing everything essentially. So it's been different than what we have done in the past, and part of that reason is, if you can believe it, last year we had the runway closed down, and we noticed the year before you could go out there and step on it and you'd actually get water seeping up through the asphalt. And that was even like in July and August and everything. So we're like, what's going on here, right? So we took the opportunity last year to actually put a monitoring well in the pavement for the runway. And can you take a guess of how much water we actually had standing underneath the runway? About 5 feet deep. It varied, but our maximum depth was just a little bit under 7.5 inches of groundwater. So with that, that was part of the issue. Is the existing asphalt and stuff is getting deteriorated because of that water. It's stripping the asphalt and it's becoming weaker. So with the FAA and everything, we've come up with a new system, and we're actually putting in a drainage layer. We're the first airport actually in the United States that's using this method, and going forward, the FAA is, when they redo all their specifications and requirements, they're going to require a drainage layer actually put in under all new runways or reconstructed runways. So with that, another little trivia deal is, what's the thickest asphalt do you think we have out on the existing runway? Just take a guess. Closer. 38.25 inches is the thickest. And that's also part of the problem, just because we built up and built up and built up on it. So that's one reason why the FAA, and we're going to reconstructing everything. So I'll go into the first phase and everything. This is essentially phase one. We're in that right now. We've actually in this area right here, we've actually removed all the asphalt and we're exiting it down to subgrade. We've started milling in this area right here. So essentially, the reason why we keep like golf and everything open is to keep access for all the aircraft to use, the airfield with as minimal impacts as possible. So right now, like I said, we're almost a month into this. So of the 95 calendar days. So Rebecca, if you would like to go into phase two. Phase two looks pretty much exactly the same as phase one. But with that, you can see that we're actually closing down taxiway golf. And the reason why we did this is just to try to reduce the impacts, right, to operations for aircraft and also for the tower. So with this will be 45 days. And in this, we'll remove everything here for for Juliet and get it down, and then to eliminate any joints or anything like that, we'll pave everything together, so we don't have construction cold joints, which is one of the leading causes of failure, just because it's a natural weak spot. So once we complete that, we'll open taxiway golf and whiskey to aircraft for cross-field taxis. We'll close down Echo, and also we have a new right here. That's our center ARF access road. In order to keep that open, we're going to have to do a little temporary road to bypass the construction, but that will get us essentially through halfway for the runway reconstruction for this year. So if you would like, please go to phase 4. Phase 4, once again, is essentially the same, but you can see right here in this cyan, we're actually starting to remove taxiway Charlie. Taxiway Charlie, it won't be needed anymore because essentially where we relocated taxiway Delta and the proximity to taxiway Mike. We're going to actually start the removal, and that will remove that and then pave the shoulder and everything for taxiway Alpha. And then phase 5. Phase 5 is essentially just grooving the runway. We actually put in grooves in the asphalt, and that helps with water and hydroplaning and everything to help when it rains and everything to get the water off, and so you don't ever have a boundary of water. So in this phase, we'll be doing the grooving and then the final pavement markings. So we'll move on to Concourse A apron. This is phase 2. We completed phase 1 last year, and it is essentially 135 calendar days, and we're looking, we don't have an exact, we just went out to bid. We have an apparent low bidder and everything right now, so we will start working on the contract and everything, but we're planning to start construction the first and middle part of May for this. So this is just an overview of the 3 phases. So of what we're actually improving. This down here is what we've already completed last year. So if you would like to please go on. So this is phase 2A. So we will be constructing the new portion here in blue. Alaska will be able to use these gates. They'll come in and use the same route that they have been using for gate C7, C9, and 11. Because of the proximity, we cannot get an aircraft in C7, so we will be closing down gate C7, and we've been coordinating with Alaska on that. Also, we have, there's going to be some impacts to Alaska with the number of RON spots because we had 4, and because we're closing down this taxi lane T2 and everything, we will be reducing it for right now just to 2 aircraft for remote overnight to complete the project. So phase 2B is we'll start in this area, and in this area we'll let the concrete cure because it's a 28-day cure period. So in order to keep everything moving and trying to keep everything in the construction year, we'll start moving into this area and start the demolition. With that, we will keep this open for access to this area of the apron for Jackson Jet, and then this area as well for Jackson Jet during this construction period. So if you'd like, please go in. Whoops.
Sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Sorry, you're done.
Okay. Should be right about there. Yep. Yep. So with that, with phase 2C, we'll continue working in this area as well, but we've also extended this area. The reason why we split this up is you can see when we do that, it splits the apron into two halves. So with that, we're building a temporary, this will have the stuff from 2A, excuse me, will have enough cure on it and strength for the concrete, so we'll be able to start running aircraft across it. So then to access this area of the apron, they'll use this new little taxi lane right there. And then also, when we start into this phase, we also gain additional 4 RON spots for aircraft to be able to park on it. So this is essentially 60 calendar days. And once this is complete, this whole area will be concrete paved and ready for use. And then project 3 is the taxi lane Sierra extension widening. This is essentially 2 phases and it's approximately 85 calendar days. We're in about 75 to 80% of the design right now has been completed for this. And right now we're estimating about 85 days, 60 for phase 1 and 25 for phase 2. This is the overall. It's kind of a, you know, you look at it and it's kind of a jumbled up mess with just colors and everything, but there's a reasoning for it. So this also light blue cyan color, we're actually installing a sanitary sewer. So it's going to be out there right now, a lot of this for SkyWest and everything, and ITD is a pressure sewer. So we're getting rid of that main system and actually putting in a gravity sewer. And it's a good thing because the airport's not in the sanitary sewer business, that's Public Works. So we've been working with Public Works. And once that sewer is complete, they will take over the maintenance and everything for that. So little tidbit there. So if you would like to go into, so the major concern is, right, to keep SkyWest operational while we're doing this. And the problem is this is kind of a dead end taxiway. So there's only one way in, one way out. So with that, it has to be done in phases to keep aircraft coming in, because at night, they're servicing anywhere between 14 and 18 aircraft they're maintaining for the different airlines for SkyWest and the different airlines that they fly for. So with that, they'll be able to come in and access while we construct this blue area here, reconstruct some of this blue area here. And you can see the aircraft being parked there. And we're also going to be ending up having to park some aircraft down here on the far south end of the Southeast Cargo apron area. And also ITD has access into their hangar during this. And final is the purple area here is the areas that we will be finishing in phase two. So, we actually had to widen this more so than we normally would have to, just so they can actually access it while we're constructing and rehabbing this portion of the taxi lane. Any questions?
Marcus,
Yes.
going back on my general aviation days, I'm assuming you're coordinating with ATC
Yes.
on all these improvements, because I can imagine coming up, getting an airplane out of my hangar, I haven't been there for a month, all the changes. Guys like me are gonna ask for a progressive taxi in the tower. So
Correct.
gonna rely on those folks to guide us through the maze you created out there.
Yes.
So I'm assuming you maintain close cooperation.
Yes, everything that we do is coordinated through the tower and everything. Like for the runway project, we've had it's an SMRP with the tower and nav engineering and everybody with the FAA. It's essentially an 8-hour meeting to discuss the entire project and how we're impacting operations. And that's how we actually come up with those phasing and try to reduce the number of impacts. It's working with them, also with our tenants and everything to, I know it seems like we may not try to work with everybody and but there is a method that we try to use and try to reduce the number of impacts. It's just part of the nature of the game. When we're reconstructing stuff, things get impacted and we try to reduce that as much as possible.
Marcus, if I could just add, an SRMP is a safety risk management panel. And so the safety risk management panel goes through and reviews the safety phasing plan, evaluates the risks, determines how to best mitigate any risks associated with construction, and how we're going to handle what we would consider to be irregular operations, because it's a changed condition on our airfield. And so all of those things get published and pilots are notified, through the ATIS and through NOTAMs, which are the standard process. And also it is very well coordinated with Tower. We have at least the one meeting, but probably multiple meetings leading up to that to go over the safety and phasing plan.
I think for the runway project, I think there was a total of 14 meetings with the tower to discuss different phasing options and everything. So we get their buy-in and everything. Essentially, the phasing is worked out with them, and we work with them as closely as possible.
Thank you. Are there any other questions or comments, commissioners? I have one question, Marcus, and I apologize in advance if you mentioned this, but what's the expected lifespan of a new runway or a reconstructed runway?
The reconstructed runway, the design life is 20 years. That's what the FAA requires. So so it's about 20 years. So rehabs are between 10 and 15. They're shorter term just because you're not doing as much of and rebuilding everything. So those are shorter. One thing is with all the asphalt millings and everything, we're removing about 212 million pounds of asphalt for this project. So right now we're averaging between about 175 to 210 trucks a day that we're actually removing asphalt.
And where is that going?
That is being handled actually by the contractor. So they are stockpiling it. They will probably reuse some of that in some of the different projects that they can use for like state projects, state highways and local roads. The FAA does not allow, it's called RAP, recycled asphalt pavement. The FAA does not allow that. So all of ours is virgin oil. So,
Mr. Chairman and Marcus, if you provided this information, I apologize, but I'm curious how much this project costs and where the money is coming.
Sure, I can, I did not include that, so, right now, it's about $74 million is for the runway project. We have a discretionary, grant that's coming to us from the FAA, and it's about $64 million. And then also, we're going to use our entitlement, which is just about $2.9 million for that. With FAA projects, our percentage that we have to pay as the airport is about 16%. So about 16 cents on the dollar.
Any other questions or comments from commissioners?
One other thing I forgot, I apologize, is the new north runway will also, one thing that's being added is you'll have new centerline runway lights in this compared to the existing condition where we do not have any centerline lights.
I just want to thank Marcus for all of the work that he put into this. As you can see, airfield pavement is a very technical, complex project, and we're lucky to have Marcus and his expertise. He's been working on airport projects here for, I will also say decades. I won't say how many years, but decades. And we're really lucky to have his expertise because it is a very specialized area, and there aren't a lot of people who have the knowledge and skill to be able to lead a project like that. So thank you to Marcus and his team, because also a lot of this happens at night and on weekends. And so this is not a Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 kind of thing. So I just wanted to publicly mention that for the commissions.
And on behalf of the commissioners, I'll echo that sentiment. Thanks for such a thorough update.
But we have a great team, so.
Thank you. Okay, we've got one more item on the agenda, and that's the time where we open up to the general public for questions and comments. And just as a reminder, discussion is limited per issue, not to exceed 5 minutes, and meeting time constraints, and requests for final action may require deferral to a future meeting. So with that said, is there anyone here present from the general public that would like to come forward and either ask a question or make a comment? Okay, is there anyone online that would like to do so? Hearing and seeing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you for joining us today.
Take that as no alcohol. Yeah. 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 Thank you.
Yeah, and right now, more
Yeah. Try not to.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yes. Good. Thank you.
Not the same, but it's good to get the feedback.
Yeah, no, it's, thank you.
Right. I'm Rebecca. I just wanted to
North.
I'm not. Okay, yeah, I heard it. Yeah, yes. So Jennifer.
Right, and I just say.
There was a proposal. Townhome. Provide a board. And so. For one.
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah. They were gonna grant. They are.
We are, I mean.
It's a private. Not that they didn't go up here, but it doesn't. They have all different standards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although living with that, someone overseeing that on a group. Like.
One is how loud is it? But the other. And so I think it's valid. Yet it's not over that.
I have.
But it's that average. So because it's not all the time. I think if it's, you know, and it's not June. But if it's just a moderate thing, wow, families, like, you know, the trash can go by, whatever. They don't have.
Yeah.
Well, very nice to meet you. Oh, I will. She's running because we have a employee event today. So she's working with you.
Great.
I'm gonna let you know.